Good morning, Grade 9. Grade 9, Sinai, Samaria, and Shiloh. When you are plating food, your goal should be to make the food look attractive and appetizing. Why? Because people eat with their eyes first. So if the food looks good, they are more likely to enjoy it. There are 4 expected learning competencies for this chapter. 1 is to identify the methods of plating. 2. Present appetizers attractively. 3. Identify the tools for garnishing and identify the accompaniment of appetizers. Plating is the art of presenting food in a way that enhances and improves the appeal of the food itself. It is the act of arranging the meal on the individual plate immediately before it is served. Presentation should look natural and should feel as though everything on the plate is meant to be exactly where it is. Visual appeal is just as important as the taste experience of the food. Plating makes the experience of food more than just eating and enjoying, but it is an expression of craftsmanship and art. There are several components of food plating. The first one is what we call the support. The support's function is to present and reveal the culinary preparation. Its patterns and colors should not interfere with food. Its size should be proportional to the food and should not give the effect of excess or insufficient food. So in other words, yung plate na paglalagyan natin ng food should be appropriate to the serving size of the food. So, ang madalas na ginagamit nating mga professionals ay plain white para mas ma-express natin yung creativity. The second talks about the focal point. It is the thing that attracts the eye. It is located at the end of the dish so as not to hide the lower items and can also be the biggest portion. For the main dish, it could be a piece of meat or fish. What is important is the accessibility of the focal point without having to break all the staging. So, ito yung focus natin sa plating. Ano ba yung main dish? So, yun ang ating focal point. Colors. The colors of the food you are plating will be the leading determinant on successful highlightings of the dish strong points. Draw attention to the positives of the meal by putting bright accent colors with more neutral tones side by side. Vegetables are interesting because they offer contrast of colors and shapes. Care must be taken to use their geometry and color in presentation without hiding others. So yung color ng food makes the food more vibrant and the food looks appetizing if you are going to use different colors. Moving on to number 4, flavors. Flavors come together because they are close, complement each other, or because they confront each other. So, pwedeng may sweet, may something hot and spicy, pwede rin namang may sweet and sour. Texture is defined as those property of a food that are sensed by touch in the mouth and the hands. We use many texture. We use words to describe food texture. Foods can be soft or hard, mushy or crunchy, or smooth or lumpy. Texture is important to the enjoyment and acceptability of foods. So, in other words, texture is also a critical component of good food presentation as well as eating. Contrasting textures add a different dimensions to the palate as well as the visual interest. So this Contrast can be achieved using different preparation methods. For decoration, it must be edible and reflect the flavors contained in the preparation. They can be herbs, spices, or ingredients used in another form. Parsley, lettuce leaf, cherry tomatoes, or lemon slice should be should not be exclusive in the decoration. For number 7, the garnish complements and increases the texture and flavor of a dish. It must be thought about carefully. A plate must be balanced and clear, appearance that leaves the eye and the mouth satisfied before even tasting the food. The four methods of plating are the following. We have the clock method, stacking method, sauces, and garnishes. A clock method is a method of plating where the placement of the three basic elements to a dish. Example, yung protein ay ilalagay natin between 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And yung starch halimbawa ay ilalagay naman natin between 9 to 11 o'clock. And then the vegetable naman ay between 11 to 3 o'clock. So in other words, yung plate natin, titignan natin bilang isang orasan. So pag sinabi ng chef natin na yung dessert ilagay mo sa 3 o'clock. So yun ang ating susundin. Yun ang tinatawag natin na clock method. Stacking method is a method that adds a dimension of height to culinary plating, forcing the diner's eyes to move forward. This technique is usually used to make smaller courses look more plentiful like desserts and salads. So, kahit kaunti lang yung serving portion, nagmumukha siyang madami dahil gumagamit tayo ng stacking method. You can stack food free form or use a mold to create a precise stack by placing the can on the plate and adding the different layers. Afterwards, you carefully slide the mold to reveal a perfect stack. Sauces are a part of many courses. So marami tayong dishes na nilalagyan ng sauce. From appetizers to main courses to desserts, to give a pleasant plating appearance to meat sauces and gravies. Pour a pool of sauce under the meat to serve as a background for your main course. Adding sauce from a squirt bottle gives you more control over the placement of your sauce. Garnishes used on a plate should have both a purpose and be edible. Never use garnish with a food that is not included in the recipe. Instead of a complementary taste of the food, it can cause a conflicting taste that is not agreeable with the dish. Do not put a heaping garnish on one corner of the plate. Choose garnishes with a variety of colors and shapes to arrange around the main dish, and use garnishes and apply them quickly to keep the food warm. So, may binabagayan yung garnishing. Example, yung nakikita nyo, yung deviled egg. Ang garnishing niya ay cucumber because cucumber goes well with the dish. Example, yung baby back ribs. It was garnished with some vegetable because that vegetable goes well with the baby back ribs. So, hindi magandang tignan na ang vegetable dish like pinakbet, lalagyan mo ng garnishing na marshmallow. Hindi bagay. That is in bad taste. Moving on to the different tools for garnishing. So we can create wonderful garnishes for our family members if we have common kitchen tools equipment. The first one is the garnishing knives. It is used to create crinkle or ripple designs in hard vegetables such as beets, carrots, cucumbers, potatoes, radishes, and turnips. A twin curl cutter is used to create a hollow on some vegetables for stuffing with spreads and salads, as well as vegetable and fruit curls of contrasting colors. A spiral slicer is used to make decorative coiled up spiral ribbons out of vegetables like beets, carrots, potatoes, or radishes that add color to meat platters or bland one-color vegetable dishes. A food decorator tool is designed to work on large centerpieces like creating a wet watermelon basket as well as tomatoes, cucumbers, potatoes, oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruits, and melons. This tool allows you to score vegetables like carrots by scraping it in a downward stroke, applying little pressure. Knife is a tool used to cut medium-sized foods like pineapples or cantaloupes, and a paring knife is for all-purpose cutting. A melon ball scoop is a tool used to make nice round balls of melons. You can also use this to remove some of the pulp when hollowing out a vegetable or fruit even if you are not trying to create a round ball. A vegetable peeler is a kitchen tool consisting of a slatted metal blade attached to a handle used to peel off certain potatoes, carrots, apples, and pears. An apple cutter or corer is used to remove the core and pips from an apple. A grapefruit knife is a tool that has an angled tip and double-sided serrated blade which helps separate grapefruit segments easily. A butter curler is a kitchen tool designed to produce decorative butter shapes and chocolate and wax shavings for use in food preparation. Now, we have citrus zester. It is a kitchen tool used to produce fine strips of citrus zest. The actual zester part is made of stainless steel with fine, sharp-edged holes in it. A brush is a tool used to apply sauces, oils, glazes, and other liquids to dishes before and during the cooking process. A decorating bag is a bag in the shape of a cone. It is used to decorate cakes, cookies, and pastries. Decorating tips are the nozzles at the end of a pastry bag where the frosting or filling is forced through to apply it to cakes, cookies, and pastries. Hand graters are used to grate cheese, vegetables, zest, and spices. Small cookie cutters are devices with sharp edges used to cut cookie dough into different sizes and shapes. A ware strainer is used to strain liquids away from other ingredients and sieve fine ingredients away from larger ingredients. Some appetizers, like seafood appetizers, are often accompanied with lemon slices, cocktail sauce, or horseradish sauce. Bread is often served with soups. Fresh herbs and condiments can also accompany appetizers. So the following can also accompany appetizers. Ito yung appetizers accompaniment. We have sauces, dips, condiments, pickles, fruits, and of course, vegetables and prepared vegetable items. When preparing or cooking food, we should always take precautions to ensure that food or surfaces that come in contact with food are not contaminated by your body or anything that you are wearing. Here are some things to consider. You have to clean your hands, chill food safely, cook foods properly, and you have to learn about high-risk foods. One of the best ways to ensure food safety and hygiene is to make sure that your hands are clean before you begin prepare a meal and drying your hands with a clean towel or paper towel afterwards. When using gloves, it is important to change them as often as you could wash your hands. Remember to wash your hands before handling food even though you are wearing gloves. Chill foods safely. Store perishable foods in the refrigerator or freezer set at temperature of 2 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius until you are ready to use them. Perishable leftovers should be refrigerated as soon as possible. Freezing is another option, although frozen foods are not sterilized and still needs to be cooked thoroughly after they are thawed. Cook foods properly. Some foods, like meats, needs to be cooked to maintain good food safety and hygiene. Meats and processed meats, or those with cavities, like whole poultry, should be cooked thoroughly before serving. You have to learn about certain foods that pose a higher potential risk for infection. Keep raw meat away from other food to prevent contamination as well as raw dairy products. Sushi, if stored at the proper temperature, can be safe. Are you learning, guys? I hope you are. So in closing, allow me to read a verse from Isaiah 41:10, and it says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand." Again, this is your teacher Malou Obispo saying thank you for listening and may God bless us all.